people come out here to do wine tasting, first of all, they get to see the amazing views and the vistas with the rolling hills and the vineyards, and then once they get inside, they can taste the really great wines that we have here. We are a farming family. Our farming background shows in the wines, and then also the winemaker, Jim Shumate's really talented and does a great job. Our family is one of the founding members of the Sustainability in Practice, the SIP certified vineyards out here. Our Viognier block was one of the first certified, and my father was actually a founding member of the Central Coast Vineyard team, which developed the SIP program.
The winery experience was much more than we expected, but the real reason we went to the Pomar Junction Winery was for its colorful history. Owner Dana Merrill's family was in California long before the territory became a state. In fact, the land on which the current winery sits in the Central California coast area was given to the family by Spanish land grant. At one time, the farming land extended throughout the Central Coast area. Since then, portions of the land were sold off to other farmers, leaving the Merrills with about 1,000 acres for their own grape production for the family of Pomar Junction wines. So on to the history. Dana Merrill sat down with the Voices of the West to talk about his family's history.
There's several sides to the family. We were talking about an Irish grandmother coming from Ireland to Boston, and that's part of it. But the side that we tell the most stories about, of course, is going back to the early mission days. I mean, literally, my ancestors came to Baja. I mean, there were some of them in Baja for 400 years before they ever moved up into California. A lot of people don't realize that, how long Spain was in the New World before they really ever even started to do anything in California. The big land grant ranchos were also major way stations in those days. My great-great-great-grandfather, William Goodwin Dana, who was we talked about, was a clipper ship captain and ended up marrying into a California family. Well, Fremont was riding through, and apparently he had run into a little trouble in Salinas, or maybe a little bit north towards San Jose, and he lost about half his horses. They got to Nipoma, and they needed more horses, and so Captain Dana was in a cooperative mood. I mean, he was an American, but he had married into the Spanish family. But I think he knew that there was an inevitability about the United States taking over California, and it probably just as well served to reduce the bloodshed through cooperation if you could. So he gave Fremont 25 horses or so, and told them to take off. But what happened was they also took the family's prized horses, which were not offered, and the family wasn't real thrilled about that. But the soldiers took off, and they went south, just east of Santa Maria, and on a road called Fox and Canyon Road, which is actually wine country, wine trail right now. They were camping there, and so what the vaqueros from the Dana Ranch did was they took what's called the Bell Mare with them. The Bell Mare had a bell around its neck, and the Bell Mare was used to bring all the stock home when they were out grazing out in the hills. They took the Bell Mare down there, snuck up, and at night untied all the halters from the rope there, and the Bell Mare led all the family horses and all the rest of them, and led them all back to Nipoma. So when the soldiers got up in the morning, there were no horses.
The cavalry woke up as infantry.
To hear more about the Pomar Junction Winery and more great stories about Dana Merrill's family, head over to voicesofthewest.net. Click on the podcast tab and look for Pomar Junction. For Todd Roberts and Bunker DeFrance, I'm Harry Alexander.